Alright, today we are diving headfirst into the absolute wildest, most intense R-rated movies dropped in 2025. This is the good stuff, the movies that don't pull any punches. I've seen them all, and I am bursting at the seams to tell you what's worth your time. Oh, and before you ask, I've got all the streaming info pinned in the first comment for you, because I'm not a monster. Now, are you ready? Let's get into the chaos. Starting off, we've got a movie that feels like sticking your hand in an emotional blender. It's bleak, it's dark, and it will absolutely haunt you. Imagine your life is already a dumpster fire, and then someone just keeps throwing more trash on top. That's this film. We have Julianne Moore, who is just delivering a masterclass in grief and quiet rage as a mother dealing with a lot. And then there's Sydney Sweeney, who's basically a human hurricane of bad decisions. The tension between them is so thick you could cut it with a knife. The whole vibe is just pure, suffocating dread, in the best way possible. It's like if Mayor of Easttown had a baby with a panic attack. The filmmakers really pile on the misery, almost to a comical degree. But the core story of a mother doing unspeakable things to save a daughter who doesn't even seem to care, that part is a gut punch that will stick with you. The movie is Echo Valley. Next up, we've got a scandalous, queer-coded historical drama that's basically the cinematic equivalent of sipping tea while watching a mansion burn down. It's got Tessa Thompson as this brilliantly manipulative woman trapped in a loveless marriage, just waiting to light a match and watch the whole world go up in flames. It's messy, it's ambitious, and it's so dramatic. The whole film feels like one long disastrous party where everyone hates each other but is too polite to say it. And Nina Haas shows up as a former flame, and the tension just skyrockets. The movie tries to be this grand, sweeping tragedy, but sometimes it just feels clunky. The score is so loud it's practically yelling at you, and the lighting is so murky you'll be squinting. But the performances are unhinged in the most glorious way. It's worth watching just to see these incredible actresses chew up the scenery. This one is HEDDA. Alright, prepare for a spy thriller so slick and stylish it'll make you want to buy a trench coat and speak in code. This movie is a total throwback to old school Cold War espionage flicks, but with a modern paranoid twist. We've got Michael Fassbender as this impossibly cool agent who has to find the mole in his own organization, and the main suspect might be his own wife, played by the eternally flawless Cate Blanchett. Their dynamic is less of a marriage and more of an intellectual knife fight. It's all mind games and sizzling dialogue. The director, Steven Soderbergh, is back in his element here. He shot, directed, and edited the whole thing himself, and you can feel his signature style in every single frame. It's smart, it's tense, and it's dangerously sexy. This isn't a movie with big dumb explosions. It's about the quiet anxiety of not knowing who you can trust, especially when you share a bed with them. Get ready for Black Bag. Okay, now for something completely different. Imagine if your job was so dangerous that your boss just kept a clone of you in the back room ready to go if you didn't make it back. That's the insane premise of this sci-fi acid trip from the director of Parasite, Bong Joon-ho. Robert Pattinson plays the main character, an expendable main Mickey, and he is just having the time of his life. At one point, a new clone gets printed while the old one is still alive, so Pattinson ends up acting opposite himself, and it is a chaotic delight. One is a sweet, bumbling guy, the other's an arrogant jerk. The whole movie is a wild, satirical ride that skewers capitalism, colonialism, and our own self-destruction. It's got weird alien creatures, a tyrannical Mark Ruffalo, and the visual style is pure dystopian eye candy. It's a little messy and might not be as perfectly tight as Parasite, but who cares? It's bold, bizarre, and utterly unforgettable. The movie is Mickey 17. Get ready for a rom-com that's actually smart. This one asks a question as old as time. Should you marry for love or a giant pile of cash? We've got Dakota Johnson as this high-end matchmaker in Manhattan who finds herself in a love triangle with a rich, charming Pedro Pascal and her broke but soulful ex-boyfriend played by Chris Evans. And let me tell you, seeing Chris Evans play a struggling, vulnerable artist is a revelation. He completely sheds the Captain America persona and just breaks your heart. The dialogue is so sharp and real, it feels like you're eavesdropping on actual New Yorkers. It's got the wit of a classic screwball comedy, but with a totally modern, cynical edge. The whole film is gorgeous, romantic, and a little bit sad, exploring what we sacrifice for security and what we lose when we let go of a connection. It's a love letter to messy relationships and finding your version of a happy ending. This is Materialists. By the way, if you're enjoying this chaotic little movie rant, do me a solid and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Filmflix. We do this all the time. Let's build this community of certified movie addicts together. Okay, back to the madness. So, is this really the end for the Warrens? This movie claims to be their last ride, but it feels more like a changing of the guard. The story jumps to the 80s, Ed and Lorraine are semi-retired, and the focus shifts to their daughter Judy and her new boyfriend. Honestly, it's a smart move. Judy's struggle with her psychic gifts, wanting to be normal but being called to something greater, is super compelling. And her boyfriend Tony has to prove he's man enough for the family business, which is basically Ghostbusters but with more prayer. The director uses all these cool 80s era camera tricks like grainy home video footage to make the scares feel raw and real. And of course, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are the heart and soul. Their chemistry is just electric. Even when Ed is frail, he's still the Rock, and Lorraine is just radiating this otherworldly strength. It might not be the scariest film in the series, but it's got so much heart. It's about family sticking together against the forces of darkness. Say your prayers for the Conjuring last rites. Next, hold on to your souls because we're going to the 1930s Mississippi Delta for a Southern Gothic horror musical with vampires. Yes, you heard me, vampires. Directed by Ryan Coogler, this film is epic. It's about two brothers, played by the incredible Michael Jordan, who open a juke joint and awaken something ancient and evil. The movie is a feast for the eyes, shot on IMAX with these sweeping, immersive camera movements. It dives deep into African folklore, racial history, and the sheer power of the blues. The music in this film isn't just background noise, it's a character, a weapon, a beacon that attracts both hope and horror. It's beautiful and brutal all at once. Sometimes it gets so big and ambitious that it loses a bit of its intimacy, but when it hits hard. It's a powerful, haunting, and totally unique horror experience that'll get under your skin. This one is called Sinners. Get ready to have your brain twisted into a pretzel. This movie is a psychological minefield set on a college campus. It's about a sexual assault accusation, but it's not interested in giving you easy answers. Julia Roberts plays a professor whose world is turned upside down when her brilliant student, played by Ayo Edebiri, accuses a colleague of assault. The film forces you to question everything and everyone. Is the student telling the truth? Is the professor biased? Is anyone a reliable narrator? It's like Doubt for the #MeToo era. The script is so clever, dropping little hints and details that make you constantly reevaluate what you think you know. Julia Roberts is absolutely phenomenal, playing this complex woman grappling with her own demons while trying to navigate an impossible situation. This isn't a courtroom drama. It's an exploration of the messy, gray areas of truth, memory, and power. It will make you uncomfortable, and it will make you think. The movie is called Weapons. Finally, we have an absolute masterpiece. This is the kind of movie that reminds you why you fell in love with cinema from the very beginning. It's a sprawling, epic story of resistance directed by the one and only Paul Thomas Anderson. And the cast is just jaw-dropping. Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Regina Hall, everyone is at the top of their game. Leo plays a revolutionary on the run, trying to protect his daughter from a government obsessed with crushing dissent. The whole film has this jittery, paranoid energy that gets your heart pounding. The script is phenomenal. It's propulsive, it's funny, and deeply moving because DiCaprio gives this incredibly restrained performance that's all about a father's fierce love for his child. And Sean Penn? This is his best work in years. It's a film that feels incredibly timely, dealing with truth and power, but it never feels preachy. It's a character-driven, action-packed, and ultimately optimistic story about fighting for what you believe in. A true cinematic event. This is one battle after another. And that's a wrap. 10 massive movies that are going to blow you away in 2025. What a year. I need to go lie down now. Which of these are you most hyped for? Scream about it in the comments below. I want to hear all your thoughts. Thanks for hanging out with me for another movie night. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a rant. I'll see you all in the next one. Stay obsessed.